Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
Man,
Hey guys, how are you?
Every single week you think this is the first time we've done this.
And you know what? Screw it. Why not?
This is why you know what? We've learned to troubleshoot. That's the key to this.
Yes, that is our excellence. Troubleshooting.
We have
We sip on it way too much.
we finally figured this shit out.
Oh
y'all.
man, that's what we keep telling ourselves.
Right.
Welcome to another episode of
Sipping on Excellence, y'all.
That Is What We're Doing.
Welcome back, y'all. We here for another week. You know it.
I'm gonna do like you do. I'm gonna post up.
You know, here to put some knowledge in y'all's head. Here to probably suck some knowledge out.
Right, because we like to go in on our own thoughts.
Man, we were just talking about this earlier, how we are deep into this. I wouldn't say deep, because there are people who have hundreds of episodes, but we've been in this for almost a year, 8 months, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and 9 months.
Actually, 9 months.
9 months. We've been in this for 9 months, and this has been a learning experience, but been a good learning experience.
I know.
And you guys have gotten to see us and hear us grow. And again, we always say this, and we want to start off by saying welcome and thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for following us. Yeah, he's in a mood today, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
I'm great.
We want to remind you guys, go look at this on YouTube, man. This is actually very
cool. Because you know what? It's funny because I've gone back and watched a couple of times. It's like I'm really just hanging out.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, it's a different experience, but I'm really just hanging. I keep forgetting that we're recording on camera because for so long it was just us talking
and this board
and trying to get the recording together on video. Now it's like, oh, you're looking at us too. Oh,
y'all can see us, and we kind of don't care that you can see us because this is us regardless
in our full form.
Bringing y'all into our home.
Your home,
sitting in our living room, chopping it up with the boys. This is what it's all about.
I gotta drive home, so I'm taking the street way, real slow, windows rolled down.
Ooh, yeah. But no, man, this has been a great experience and continues to be a great experience.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today. I know we are. Y'all might get rubbed. Some of y'all are gonna get rubbed a little wrong. Some of y'all are gonna learn.
You know what?
But they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn something about themselves.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. You need to stop telling them that because you know what? Everybody's gonna receive something the way they're gonna receive it, good, bad, or indifferent. They're always gonna find their own something. Well, it's not.
You know why? Because we got a society full of sensitive MFs right now.
We do.
Overly sensitive about every little thing. And what do you think? Do you think it's more so this younger generation that's just heightened sensitivity to everything?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, nothing bothered our grandparents.
I mean, and, we always come back to comedians, because they just keep it real and they have the stage and the presence. But Chris Rock, when he's talking about, he said, everybody need a bully. Everybody need to get their ass. Because how do you learn how to deal with the bully? We had a whole show about bullying.
Yeah.
You learn how to survive and thrive by tackling bullies. And that's even the inner bully in your head.
And we are living in a society where we want to make everybody a winner when that's just not life.
I think that's where, when it got to the point where everybody was getting a trophy as a kid,
participation trophies,
or
ribbons,
or your karate belt because you kind of broke a board that they split already. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, you got to earn it.
It builds your self-esteem. If you're not earning that, are you really winning? Because everything in life is not going to be given to you.
Yeah.
But yet we teach our children that as long as you participate, you're good.
Also, I think that always, but what's the old phrase? You want to know what's going on with a child, follow them home. and what's going on in the home. The parents they're in their child's life, but are they giving their child the tools to survive? Yet have they been given the tools?
They may think they are.
Right.
You know, and they may say, "Oh, well, the world's changing." I heard we were talking. I was listening to the Plastic Cup Boys, Kevin Hart's little show, and they were talking about whooping kids, and how people will say, "Well, yeah, maybe some of the stuff that happened when we were kids, because they're the same age as us, when we were kids, probably didn't need to go that far," is what they were saying. But then a couple of them were like, "Well, do you whoop your kids?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't whoop my kids. I just, we punish, we take away things, we talk to them and all this stuff." And what's the right answer? Are we building a society of soft people, soft, sensitive people, or are we building a society of people where they can learn other ways? I don't know. I'm not a parent. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Neither am I.
Yeah, but I look around, I look at the younger generation after us in the workforce, and it's like,
when you were talking about kids, I was thinking about someone I know. I'm not gonna, but I walked past and I said something to the child. I said something, it was a little funny. It was funny, and she was like, "Oh no, don't do that, don't do that. She's really sensitive." I said, "Wow, she's 4. Like, what's going on?" She cries at the drop of a hat.
Because at home they're creating that sensitivity.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's, like you said, starts in the home.
Sorry, I couldn't wait for the sip of the day.
Anyway, we got sidetracked from it, man. How was your week, man? Let's get into that. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's enough said.
No, I'm doing good. I'm steadily working. I'm thinking. I'm being creative. I'm exploring. We don't explore our brain enough. We don't explore the depths. Are challenging ourselves, or I'm enjoying the process and learning to enjoy the processes that I don't necessarily love, but figuring out where can I find that fulfillment, and where does it sit with me, and how I can utilize it, or take just the components I need, just so I can say, "All right, know that one, gotta kick that one out the door, get this shit out of my face. I'm tired of it."
At least you're still challenging yourself.
Yeah, man.
Think about how many people out there most people don't like challenges.
No.
They want, like we talked about, they want easy.
They want the easy button.
And well, how can I do this better? I mean, I see it at work all the time.
Oh yeah,
where
sure.
People are like, you know what? I know I need to do all of these things. Like I was telling you about that patient who.
Yeah. You don't have to say that. Yeah. I know.
She was like, "Well, how do I get this better?" I'm like, I'm not gonna make you better. This now is all on you. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like going to the gym, getting in shape, and then we're like, "I'm in shape now. I can quit."
No.
You ever heard about maintaining?
Right.
Right. But people don't get that. They want the blue pill.
Yeah.
You take the blue pill or the red pill. They want the blue pill that makes them sharp.
They don't want to improve their quality of life. They want to improve they don't want to improve the quality of it. They just want the qualities in that moment. They don't want to put the work in that they can just live in this quality of life.
No, they don't want to do what it takes to increase their value.
No.
No,
at all.
And that's a problem. But
that's a huge problem.
Yeah. I mean,
because when are you ever going to find that? You know what I mean? When I don't even know what to say about that. It's like there's a lack of integrity with self.
Yeah, and where they place their value,
Yeah.
And what?
I'm getting frustrated talking about this,
dude. It's.
I'm thinking like.
And there's a lot to get frustrated about, and it's just people don't. It's just stupid. But before we, and we're going to get into today sort of a topic that's
it's tied in with this.
It's going to tie into this, but I want to just touch on this because the whole world's talking about it, and it's back to that. Dude, let's talk about what's wrong with y'all. Because I really want to bring this up again because
it's fair enough. I know this is,
Kanye.
by the time this comes out, 15 more things would have happened.
Right. But, and it's like, what burns me up more is that people out there who are, for a lack of better term, ignorant.
I was going to say that.
For a lack of better terms, ignorant, will look at him and say, will look at Kanye and be like, oh, this is just the man against him trying to take him down because he's rich. Anytime you wear a stocking over your face, number one, and some gloves, why is that, number one? Number two, and you say, I love Hitler.
Out loud.
I love Hitler, and Obama wasn't the first black president. He was just another Jewish president. I'm confused. And people always say, well, we got to give Kanye a pass because some of this may be true. In what world do you live in? Why are we giving him a pass? His mental health issues have nothing to do with the choices he makes right now.
No.
He's choosing. Now, his mental health issues may keep him from having a filter, but he's also...
and there is medication that he's not taking to help modify his...
but I get people have mental health problems.
Yeah.
And there are many different avenues to get help. But this dude is outright, and nobody knows his motives, but he says and is doing, anytime you now get kicked off of Twitter again by Elon Musk of all people, it's like, come on, man. At some point, somebody pull this brother aside and be like, dude, shut your hole.
But he wouldn't listen. He's
No.
not there. He's not there. His teeth literally need to be kicked in before he'll have a voice.
I mean, you're on this dude's show who is a neo-Nazi, whatever he is, and when you say that, and he's even like, whoa,
the conspiracy mastermind.
Yeah, and he's even like, whoa. When he takes a step back.
Whoa, King Wasabi. Yeah.
I mean, you look at what the GOP did. They were all about Trump, Kanye, and all this stuff. They had a tweet that said, Kanye Walker Trump, right? 2024, whatever they said. They went and took it down. As soon as he made that statement, they took it down. They're like, all right, that's even something that we can't stand behind.
Yeah.
I mean, just I feel sorry for him, but I don't.
I don't.
And I think it's going to take him losing everything, him, including himself. He's already lost himself, his family, his fortune, everything. I hope he doesn't lose his life.
I mean, you see he has to pay, what is it, $200,000 a month in child support?
Yeah, but
to a billionaire.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, it's his responsibility.
Yeah, and it's going to get so bad that he's going to lose his ability to even see his kids.
Yeah.
I mean, what judge in their right mind is going to be like, yeah, give him custody?
No.
At this stage.
He's not he wouldn't be deemed
He's not fit.
No.
At all.
No.
I mean, you go on television with a fucking stocking cap over your face.
Ridiculous.
Right?
Ridiculous.
Anyway, man.
He annoys me.
So, before we get into what we're going to tackle today, let's talk about this sip of the day.
We should just pour a little liquor to college.
Kanye, college dropout. Because he ain't been right since.
Right. Where's my 40?
Right? So today we decided to make a Man-Mosa.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Because
I like it.
It's a tasty one. So what it is, tequila, and we'll put the recipe in the description so you'll have it. Tequila, lime juice, agave, grapefruit juice.
I can't focus.
Grapefruit juice and champagne. And it goes down smooth. Cheers, man. To this.
Cheers.
Today
and this conversation.
Sipping Man-Mosas. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Ooh. Anyway, y'all.
We made some great drinks in 40 episodes.
Yeah.
Some great drinks outside of water and protein.
Yeah.
And the vodka.
And coffee.
And coffee. Those only 4. It's like, okay.
But they were appropriate.
Yeah.
The coffee one was for, do I need a college degree?
Yeah.
So it was,
yeah. The tea was amazing.
The tea.
Those teas.
Yeah. Those green teas were great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had some good cocktails. This one's, I think, is going to go up there as one of the better ones.
Yes, it is.
And yes, we are drinking this, in case you're wondering.
Of course, he's not working today.
At all.
I always understand we are not drinking when he is working.
At all.
And I am not training anymore when I'm done.
Work is done. This is play.
This is play. Exactly. I don't know how we break down.
Dude.
It's like, where does this go? Oh, where does this file go?
Right.
Jesus.
Every week we just pray that y'all actually get to hear the finished product.
I know. We only had one oopsie, and we don't know how that one happened.
And that was a good episode, too.
Oh, my God.
Sad that y'all will never get to hear it, but oh well. It lives in our memories.
Yes.
Anyway, we wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot. It's been a hot topic for a long time, and it's about value and and we're specifically looking at men and women and what do you bring to the table? You know, in a relationship and at work and specifically, why don't we start by just having a discussion as to, everybody out there says, women are like, I want a high value man. And then you ask them, what does that mean? What's a high value man? And all of a sudden, the things that I've heard are, you got to make a lot of money. You got to have a nice job. You got to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be educated. There's a whole list of things that the world places value on when it comes to a man. And my thought on what a high value man is and what we're always considered is two things: your ability to provide and your ability to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I wrong in saying that's what a high value man is? And it has nothing to do with how much he makes as long as he can provide.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with what he does for a living, all that, as long as he can provide and protect and make you feel safe.
He serves his purpose.
There are a lot of people out there who make a shit ton of money
and
don't know how to protect and aren't good at providing.
Right.
They can buy you shit,
right?
But is that really providing? And what do you think? How do you think people define being a provider?
I think they define it by what their monetary supply is. What they bring to the table financially. I think that's their sole idea. I don't think they think anything beyond that.
Right. And a provider should be more than that.
Exactly.
A provider is anybody could spend money.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that shit. And so I look at a provider as, yes, I'm giving you a safe environment. I am going to help put food on the table. I am going to keep the lights on. I'm going to keep a roof over your head. I'm also going to provide you with security for your heart. I'm going to provide you security for your physical being. I'm going to protect your emotions. I'm also going to provide you with the love that I can give you. So there's a whole lot that comes into that. But people don't think about that, And a lot of women out there are like, I'm a high-value woman, so I deserve a high-value man. And you ask them, well, what makes you high value? And they're just like, well, I'm me.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah. Do you think that, because I think the difference between you and I, of course, is because I'm married. You're single. And I think these are areas that I haven't tapped into. That's why I found it intriguing and interesting, because I even had to ask you, what does that mean? Help me understand the high value man versus a high value woman, and what does that mean? Because I've been off the block.
Yeah, and the thing is that when women's like, I'm a high value woman.
Yeah.
What makes you high value? So let's do it better than this. If I look at you, Kenny, and say, okay, do you consider yourself a high value man? And if you say yes, all right, what makes you a high value man?
Passion and purpose in life.
And
everything is filled within that passion and purpose. I take care of my wife. I love my wife. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of myself so I can be continuously available to take care of those things as well. I'm going to do the due diligence of homework and meditation and feeding my spirit so I can be of better purpose and growing in my purpose and passion to help take care of my wife, myself, and my surroundings.
Right.
And even my friends.
And so to become a high value man, you did what? You became educated.
Yeah.
Not just by going to college, but you educated yourself in your craft. So that's one thing. You're constantly bettering yourself to increase your value to you and your value to society.
Right.
Right? You're constantly trying to improve. Now, if I say, what's your definition of a high value woman? If you come across a woman and you say she's high value, what makes a woman high value in a man's eyes or in Kenny's eyes?
In Kenny's eyes.
Because we can't speak for all men. So
right.
in Kenny's eyes, what makes a woman a high value woman in Kenny's eyes?
I believe a woman that is confident and actually as mindful of her potential to continuously grow as a human and bring that to the table with me so we can share in these moments and have a great human experience together. I think, to me, that's all I'm looking for. I think the continued love and growth will go on because she's not settled into who she is right now. She's always looking to become a better version of herself. There's an old phrase, it's called, someone asked me, what do you do to stay and get back involved in a relationship and stay in a relationship and get married again? I said, and I've said this before, but you just got to die a little to yourself every day. You got to kill off a little bit of the old you to let a new you come through, because that person is always going to get a newer version. You're going to get a newer version of yourself. You're going to have the potential to grow better. So,
And here's something that I always found. Somebody was always telling me, oh, well, here's why you're a high value man, because you have a career, you're a surgeon, you're blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, because I'm a surgeon, does that make me any higher value of a man than the guy who makes sure that my lights stay on, than the guy who's climbing the telephone pole outside? When it's dark outside, who's got a higher value?
Right.
He does.
Right.
You don't need me, you need him. But society, and when I say women alike, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I don't give a shit. Women alike are going to look and say, okay, here's the things that make a man high value. His career, his money status, all these different things. And it's sort of like when somebody's saying, oh, you have money, so you have value. I know some people who have no nickels in their pocket and still have a shit ton of value, but society doesn't look at it that way.
No.
And so what do I think I bring to the table? I bring to the table me as a man. I'm the definition of what I think a man should be. Confident, smart, educated, got a good job, all those things, but caring, and my love for humanity. Those are the things that I bring to the table, on top of knowing that no matter what, I got this. You just need to know I got this. And so women, a lot of times, and this is where the feminist movement has come and kind of skewed things a little bit. A lot of times women will think, oh, for me to be considered high value, I have to have the same value as a man. But what they don't realize, for me anyway, I don't want a woman that brings to the table everything that I bring to the table. I need a woman who brings something to the table that I don't have.
Right.
So the fact that you're CEO of a company, the fact that you whatever it may be, that stuff to me isn't important.
I am going to do something, though. I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to challenge you because you just challenged yourself. You said you want, for your birthday, you said about being more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Your vulnerability, you do have it. You just acknowledged it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I just, because
I wasn't paying attention,
exactly. You said you wish you could be more vulnerable. So I'm just bringing back, catching it while I can, interrupting that pattern of thought and saying it is there.
Yeah. But
because you do have it.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where for me, and I think people look for extrinsic value more than they look at, okay, what do I need? So what do I need from a woman? What do I need from a man? Well, a woman, after a while, is like, I got my own job, I got my own money, I got all this. I don't need a man. Like that meme I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
Well, no man, and you wonder why, as such a successful woman, you wonder why you're by yourself, because you're now always saying, I'm my own man.
Yeah.
And no man wants to be with his own man. I don't want a clone of myself. I need somebody who's bringing something different to the table than me. Just like I hope she wants to bring, the partner, whoever it is, he, she wants me.
That's the beauty of connection.
You want your, not necessarily your opposite,
no,
but you want somebody to fill the gaps of the stuff you don't have.
Right.
But I think as we go through life with people we work for, like, say, for example, me as a boss, I'm not going to hire people with all the same skills that I have. If I'm very good at understanding tequila, if everybody else I bring in understands tequila, this Man-Mosa doesn't get made. I need somebody that understands champagne. I need somebody that understands grapefruit juice. I need somebody that, I may be the one who holds the glass that we're going to put it all in, and I'm going to pick the right team. But if I'm picking a team of experts that we're all experts in the same thing, then what value do we have?
Yeah.
We all have value that's one track. And to increase value, you got to bring something different to the table than me.
Yeah. And, something that you said also just recently, you were talking about the needs. I think when people get hell-bent on why they either have or don't have someone in their life, they're caught into a need versus necessarily want. You don't need shit. Let's keep it 100.
You want a bunch of shit.
We want a bunch of shit.
Right.
You want someone in your life. You want fulfillment. You don't need it. You figured out how to take care of yourself. You did all the things
you're gonna
necessary.
survive.
You're going to survive.
Right.
Now you're just trying to figure out how to get more of that extra luster in life, that love, that fulfillment that you want, that's going to help fulfill you or give you. It's going to be extra candles on the cake, basically.
Yes. It's you're going to get through this world just fine. You're going to survive, you're going to live, you're going to eat, you're going to sleep, you're going to work, you're going to go to sleep again. Now, what's going to make this journey way better?
Yeah.
Is all that extra stuff that you want. People think, "Oh, I need a man for this. I need a woman for this." It's not a necessity. You want fulfillment, which is the only thing that we as humans need is companionship. That's the only necessity we need from other people.
Right.
Because we're social by nature.
Yes.
We're not meant to be alone, meaning, and not saying that you need to be in a relationship or married, whatever it may be, but you need interaction with people. Why do you think so many people lost their mind, got suicidal and all this during COVID?
Yeah.
Because you were forced to be alone and not interact with anyone. Think about how shitty it would have been if we didn't have these devices. If there was no FaceTime, no Zoom, where you couldn't interact. Think about kids that weren't going to school.
Oh, it was horrific.
They were like, one of my friends was saying his daughter became very depressed and just because she couldn't interact at school.
It made me think of this comedian was talking. No, wasn't a comedian. Excuse me. I backtrack. I'm sorry. Not a comedian. It was one of my clients who told me the story. Said he thought that the teacher was a butthole. He realized that his child was the little asshole. Wow. He was with them all the time. It's like, oh my God, he's a little asshole. I know why they complain about him all the time now.
Yes.
I know why he's getting the grades he does. I understand. He learned.
And here's the other thing. that we forget when we're talking about high value man and woman. Mm-hmm. Women say, I want a high value man. And then they list out what their things are for high value. And of course, money, career, and all that. You don't get a high value man if you want him to be home with you all the time. Because a high value man is actually
the high value man that she seeks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That you just described.
Yeah.
Because all these women think this is what they want as high, as what they're considering high value, not realizing they value time with that person over everything else until they get the guy who's high value. But in order for him to keep the value that they have placed on his extrinsic worth, they realize, oh shit, he's never home. But he's never home. Why? Because he's providing the life that you want, or that quote unquote you say you need, right?
Right.
And so, no, I want this life, but I want you home too. Well, shit, you can't have them both.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And they realize, okay, well, that's what I want. So maybe a man wants the same thing from me. He wants me to be in the workforce, do all this stuff. Think about, and I was having this conversation, and because you're a married man, I'm not going to ask you to comment on this, so I'm going to comment on it.
We'll see.
A lot of there was a conversation that's out there saying by 2030, over 50% of women in this country are going to be single.
I believe that.
And the reason why they're saying these stats are out there is, and they're like, because men in the U.S. are now looking for more traditional relationships, looking for, gender roles. And we'll talk about that at some point. But looking at, okay, if I'm a younger guy who wants to build a family, I'm not going in search of a woman who is trying to be me, wants to be a CEO, wants to do all this stuff, and doesn't want kids, doesn't want a family. Because at the end of the day, if I'm a high-powered type A, alpha male, I'm not going to be at home I'm not going to give up everything to be a stay-at-home dad. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she has to give up everything to stay at home either, but she didn't get with me because my ambition was to be a stay-at-home dad. Mm-hmm. She got with me because I am type A, alpha male. That's why you're attracted to it. And so for me to say, okay, now I'm going to give it all up, you're going to look at me like, who are you? That's not the dude I want. But I'm wrong for saying, then somebody's got to raise the kids. If you want kids. If you don't want kids, then we can both be in the workplace mashing it out. But if we want kids, somebody's got to stay home. And if I stay home and become a manny, you're going to lose all respect for me, because deep inside, these gender roles are still in place. Now, there are some women out there that are cool with it, but I see friends of mine who have gone through this transition where the woman works and the dude's at home, and they're not happy. They don't respect their man. They throw that shit in their face all the time, and it's not a good look.
Yeah.
And so if you're not, a woman wants a dude who brings at least what she brings to the table or more. No woman wants a dude who brings less to the table than she does. And it doesn't always have to be financial. You know what I mean? But he's got to bring something.
It's a package.
But
yeah,
on the flip side, men 90% of the time get with women who bring less to the table than they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're okay with that because we're okay helping the woman grow. Most women want the man grown already.
I can agree with that.
And I'm not saying all of y'all. I'm just saying,
right,
in general, this is kind of what's out there in society.
Right.
There's always going to be exceptions to this, but it's something that's really sort of taken, and women out there are getting irritated because I'm by myself, men aren't shit, this, that, and the other. Why do you think we're not shit? I mean, what makes you feel that way? It's like, there are some that treat you like shit, but then you got to think, then look at your method of choosing.
But and then of course there's always with today, and as we speak about today, this world, and we talk about it all the time, toxic masculinity. We like throwing that word around.
Yes.
Don't you think it's toxic femininity if you keep expressing and spewing a level of hatred towards a man because this is what you think he should or should not be doing? You're deciding on what he should or should not be doing as a man.
Men are
but
toxic. Men are evil.
But at the same time, you never had a conversation, or you don't approach the table with any type of resolution or thoughts or ideas or lessons to say, hey, listen, this is not what we like. This is what we like. This is, there's nothing. It's toxic to throw out a bad idea of saying the word toxic masculinity.
I want a man to be a man. I want a man to take charge, but then I don't want him to tell me what to do. Well, he's not telling you what to do. He's taking the lead. Because you said,
right.
I want a man to be a man.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
I want a man to be a man. Oh, you expect... I was watching this clip, right? The dude was on Wendy Williams' show. You know who I'm talking about, the brother. He's an actor. And it was all about make daddy a sandwich. Have you ever seen that clip?
No.
So he was just like, she's like, yeah, what's this, make daddy a sandwich? He's like, yeah. He's like, that's right. You make daddy a sandwich. And she was like, whoa, hold on. He's like, no. And he's talking to the audience. He's like, no. Everybody just hold on. He's like, so me and you go on a date. And the bill comes and I say, we go in half. What are you saying? Oh, hell no. He's like, okay. Then he's like, somebody walks up and they're talking shit to you. She's like, I expect you to smack him in the face. Okay. He's like, and we're walking to the car, and you open the door. She said, I expect you to open the door. He's like, then make daddy a sandwich, And what he was saying is you have all these expectations of a dude based on the fact that you want to be treated like a woman, like a queen, as long as it benefits you, but then you want to be equal when it doesn't benefit you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And equal meaning, is it equal across the board with everything? No, it's never equal because men and women are not equal people. In meaning, there's a difference between men and women, and there always will be. I didn't say men and women, one's better than the other. We're just different.
Yeah.
And it'll always be different. And so we bring different shit to the table.
I was just thinking about this comedian talking about the difference. He's like, Mother's Day, they get all the toys and treats and lovely evenings and weekends and everything. He said, but when it comes down to Father's Day, we get a goddamn tie.
A handkerchief and some socks. Right? Right?
It's like there's just, it's like, oh, you're supposed to. Not supposed, you supposed to.
Right. And we're talking about equal value.
Yeah.
But you ask women in a relationship who's the prize, they will all say the woman's the prize. Why isn't a man a prize as well? You feel me? It's, why should he do this to you? Because I'm the prize. Well, why isn't he considered a prize?
You
know what I mean? And these are conversations that are real. And you ask me, like, well, why is that the case?
And we've talked about this before. Like, you see an older guy.
I'm giving him,
You see an older guy with a good-looking woman. Mm-hmm. You're like, the first two statements. One, oh, he came up. And the second one, oh, he must got a lot of money.
He must be rich. And why is that?
I don't know.
Because people think.
I know.
But people think that's what women value. Know? And when you look at that, so you look at that scenario. Mm-hmm. You have a older guy, wealthy, with a young, pretty girl, woman. Sorry, y'all. Woman.
I'm a little distracted. These perfect fingers he got because he keep them clean because of surgery. Man. Oh my God, they're perfect. Good God, man. I'm like,
hey man, these do some important work.
Bro, I was distracted. They
do some important work. But you look at these two things and you say, okay, I see everything he's bringing to the table for her life. When you ask her, what do you bring to the table? She's like, me. I bring me. well, what the fuck is me? Seriously, like, what else do you bring to the table but just
Does
me?
meat come with a sandwich?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, think about it. It's like, what the fuck is me? Are you bringing more than just a vagina? But there's a lot of women out there think that, you know what? If I give him sex, he's going to be happy.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is that, and we were talking about this earlier, we all age. And things that men value when you are younger are very different than what we value from you as you age. When you are younger, we value, of course, we're very physical creatures.
Right.
We like the way you look. We like the fact that you keep yourself up. All this stuff. Cool. We value that, yes. But going forward, that value is to get our attention. Now, what keeps our attention is what else you bring, which is what's between your ears.
Oh, my gosh.
What's in your chest? What's in your heart? What values do you hold? What do you think of yourself? How many men have you run through? We don't want to know that number, but if you're I read this quote earlier, and it was talking about, why men think body counts are like a turnoff.
Okay.
And the guy said something very, very interesting. He's like, if somebody's coming to apply for a job and you look at their resume and they've had 20 different jobs in the last 5 years, are you going to hire that person? Or are you going to wonder why they can't keep a job? Mm. He's like, but if you see somebody who's in the past 12 years have had 2 jobs, what do you think? Oh, this person works at a job, sticks with it, gets and moves on. He's like, same thing. You come across a woman who's been with X amount of dudes in a short period of time, you're going to look at her differently than somebody who's been with lesser dudes. And whatever that number is in your brain, so it's better that you don't know, but society has told us that devalues. And a lot of women are like, oh, I want to sleep with who I want, I want to do this, I want to do that. But we know as men, women sleep with dudes for different reasons than men sleep with women.
Right.
And yeah, it's just, is it a double standard? We talked about it. It's an absolute double standard. Mm-hmm. But it's what we as men, you're not going to change what we place value in. Just because you place value in something doesn't mean that we hold value in the same thing that you think should be valuable.
Right.
You consider your career to be valuable to a man. A man could care less about your career because he has his own. But a woman places high value in a dude's career. Right. Because we place value in different things. So don't try to be us.
Right. Right.
I just went off on a rant.
Yes, it's okay. That's what the show is for. It's for those ranting moments.
But it's one of those things where you can't expect us to place value in the same things as you, because Kenny places value in things different than I place value in.
Right. I'm
going to place value in something different than a woman would expect from me, and that's okay. But because because you place value in something, don't assume that I want you to be the same.
Right.
That doesn't make us equal.
Right.
What makes us equal is you bringing some different shit to the table.
It's got me thinking about, like, say, for instance, people that come to see you. People come see you that say, hey, listen, I have this problem. I want you to fix it. And you're like, yeah, no, I can't fix that because you need to fix you. And, they need to lose weight. Let's say 100 pounds. Yeah. So let's say they place value on fixing that, skipping over them, and wanting to do, go get the hair done, the nails done, buy the outfits, do the vacations, versus putting some of that money into the value of taking care of themselves first. That's what you're really asking. It's almost like you're a potential boyfriend trying to say, listen, you learn how to take care of you. Yeah. Then we'll have better value for us being together and me actually taking care of what you need.
Oh,
if
sure.
It's necessary.
I mean, look at my practice and what I place value in running my business.
Huge.
I hire a bunch of, I hire people who can do the administrative side of what I do, right? Because I don't need to hire people that can practice medicine. I can do that. I can be the surgeon. I can be the doctor. I can do all of that. The other stuff is what I place a whole lot of value in, because without that, I make no money. And so those people have different skills than me because I don't have the skills to do what they do. So I hire people that can do those things, so that way I can do what I do, knowing that that's taken care of. That's the same thing in the home, or the same thing in a friendship. I'm not.
Yeah.
My close friends aren't my twin, aren't my clone. I mean, Kenny and I are completely different, but have similarities.
I was going to say it's funny because my mom brought this up the other day. She said, watching the video, I can tell. So you have she said almost like an eclectic thought pattern. It's like you can see your thoughts around, and he just kind of ties things together. She said it's actually beautiful to watch and hear how it sounds and how it comes
You hear that?
together.
That's why y'all need to watch.
Because she said, I can see what you're saying, but it's a very broad, and it kind of goes over sometimes the people's heads, but then he'll pull it in a way where it's like 1, 2, 3.
Because that's the engineering.
And yeah, exactly.
It's
yeah.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
And
see, I'm very right. You're very left.
If we were the same thing, this podcast would be boring as shit. You know? I mean, think about it.
Yeah. I agree.
If there wasn't our differences,
there wouldn't be 40 episodes in.
No. If we didn't have the differences we have, there'd be no levity in this.
Right.
And nobody wants to stand in the mirror and talk to themselves all day. I mean, think about it. Who wants to do that? If you're telling me exactly what I'm telling you, then that's pointless.
That's how one of my businesses failed.
Yeah, it's
Just
just
2 guys that were great coaches, but didn't have the business sense to pull it all together. Yeah.
yeah. And I think healthy relationships, whether it's friendships, work relationships, relationships with your significant other, you have to bring different values to the table.
Yeah.
You have to bring different skill sets. You have to bring different thoughts. There's so much that you have to bring to the table.
But I'm going to say
This damn phone keeps vibrating between my legs. Somebody's looking for me. Don't they know that I'm recording right now? Shit.
But I think the biggest thing is they have to start bringing it with integrity.
Yes.
Because they're having all these thoughts and feelings and you need to, and you need, women you did I call it the reality show pinpoint.
Right.
You need to bring it to home, baby. You need to, as opposed to just saying, this is who I am, this is what I need, and this is what I'm looking for. That's it. Keep it simple.
And then really try as an individual to understand where you place your value.
Yeah.
Like, start thinking about why you think a man is a high value man. Don't say he's a high value man because society says it. In your mind, that may not be valuable to you, because I know a lot of very, very well off women, because they're with a rich dude, who are lonely and miserable as shit. Why? Because they find value in what he has and didn't place the value in what he could provide for them as an individual.
Right.
Yeah, you got the big house, you got all the cars you want, but guess what? All your girlfriends are working.
Yeah, because
and you want to go to brunch, and he's working, and you're miserable because he's doing his thing.
Yeah, and in many ways, he was just a shell. He was just a shell. He had all these ways of making money, but he never worked on himself. So you didn't meet the guy, you met his representative, because he came in and said, oh, this is how much money we have, this is what we do, this is where we live, this is where we go on weekends, this is how we, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy into that. Like, yeah, no, you didn't read the fine print.
Exactly.
Did you have a conversation with him?
Right.
Did you get past the front desk?
No.
You stayed at the front desk, and she gave you the layup sheet, said, here you go. And you read that whole thing, said, oh, this sounds good. Let me not apply for this job or interview for this job and find out or interview them for this job. Let me go ahead and just take this job. not realizing that person that when you get behind that closed door, that's a whole different person.
And people are putting value in someone's resume.
Yeah.
And there is value to that resume because that's part of the person.
Yeah.
But that resume is cool. Now check out his personal statement. Check that part out.
Yeah.
Because the resume, all the degrees, the bank account, all of that is fine. What else?
Yeah.
I mean, you come to me with a bank account with 8 figures, I'm going to be like, that's cool. What else you got?
Right.
Because if you take your 8 figures away, I'm going to find a way to eat every day anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be less miserable
Yeah.
if you're a shitty individual.
Yeah. It's like you don't want to be identified as like the money. You want to be identified as a man with money.
Yes.
You want to be identified as a man with passion, with purpose, with confidence, with vulnerability, with sensitivity at needed moments. You want to be identified as that man that has these components versus being the man, the money man.
I'm going to let this sit with you.
Okay.
Because I've told you this before, and y'all out there may have heard me say this. A wealthy man will take a woman with nothing, find value in it, and upgrade her life. A wealthy woman will never see a man with nothing and find value in it and upgrade his life. And that's just a fact. Mm-hmm. It will never happen. Why is that? Anyway, y'all, this was a good day. This was a good conversation.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to be conversations because right now everybody's fighting, working with and understanding the Me Too,
Right.
understanding equality, understanding. I think we first have to understand what does that mean.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think that meter has to go hard both ways to
Yes.
find that neutral spot. Go loud so you can find your voice in the middle.
Exactly. That's exactly what's needed.
And
Man,
start having conversations.
just talk to each other.
Take this moment and start having conversations with the opposite sex, finding out who they are, what they mean, so you may not be trying to get with them, but you want to find out more about them.
Yes. Where they gonna find you, man?
They're going to find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com. And they're going to find me at, Podcast
You're
SOE.com.
gonna find me at Leonel Hunt, on Instagram, and huntspine.com. Y'all, thank you for coming.
We out.
Out.